Welcome back. Unless you're watching in the afternoon, then it's not really a good morning or evening, but it's the early morning show with, again, a show that has no cat. Outside right away. Supposed to get 3 inches of rain today, though. He should be spending most of it inside. 3 inches. 3 inches. Wow. That's a lot of rain. There's going to be a lot of flooding. But my basement's perfectly dry, so I'm not worried. Enjoyed my week out driving. I have to drive everywhere. I can't fly to where I want to go still. I finally found an airplane flight from where I live, like to the city of Cincinnati. Now, right now I have to drive about 6 hours to where I need to go for work. So that's like 2 days of driving. But I found an airplane flight finally. And if I leave at 8 in the morning, I can get to where I want to go by 7 the next day. Now, this is a 6-hour drive, but it's going to take me 23 hours to get there. It's just, that's how few flights there are. It's just, I'm having to drive. Oh, God, I really test, spending my whole time when I can't be on my laptop working and stuff, driving. It's just, Well, what are you going to do? It's help and needed to get out, and it's made a big difference with my people that work for me. So I do what you got to do. Hey, a drive we go. But the problem is on Friday, I come back home on Friday. In Michigan, the whole population of Michigan goes north. Everybody. Even the animals find cars and drive north. That's how bad it is. And, all week long right now, there's no traffic jams. Best part about COVID. Zero traffic jams. You're in the cities, you're just blasting wherever you want to go. Absolutely love it. And then you come to Michigan where we got these cones, we got these orange cones. Let's drop them in the road. Let's put it down this 4-lane. The interstate's 8 lanes. 4 up, 4 down from northern Michigan. Let's block off 2 of them damn lanes and back them up. Sure as hell, they're backing them up already this Friday. It's like, God, now it's Memorial Day weekend. Bad. Oh well. We're going to show kind of a special edition here. I picked up some really neat stuff. We're going for the big time. This is the big guns. I'm pulling out some of the music that I've bought lately. So let's begin with this. Now, this came out in 2003. I bought this in 2003. This is Johnny Cash's Unearthed. And it was the CD set, came with a beautiful book. Really, really nice set from the Rick Rubins. And I had seen Norman Maslov. Mazzy had shown this, but in vinyl. I'm going, where the hell did he get that? Where did he get that? And then I found where he got that. And so, ta-da! I got the album. This is a 9 LP box set. 79 songs. It actually came out in 2017. Just took me to 2020 to find out. I love this box set. I loved it in CD, but I wanted to get it in LP form. I don't have any of Johnny Cash's stuff from the 1990s in LP. Now, for me growing up, in my very young years in the 60s, Johnny Cash, already I considered an old guy. He was on TV doing a variety show, playing some country western. I just wasn't into Cash. And in my teenage years in the 70s and even in my 20s during the 80s, Johnny Cash was just kind of an older guy. There was one song, My Name is Sue, How Do You Do, You're Going to Die. I remember that as a little kid. That one absolutely cracked me up. And my whole life, that's what, just go up to introduce someone, you just want to go, My name is Sue, How Do You Do, You're Going to Die. It just stuck to my head. But then along came Rick Rubin, and right before he came along, I started to dabble into. In the 90s, I began to dabble into some Cash, and I began to find, okay, some of this I'm enjoying, and I began buying CDs, and my kids liked it. So you know what? We'd be on trips, and I'd be playing Johnny Cash CDs of his old stuff. But when Rick Rubens came along and did this, it absolutely blew me away. And, Cash, he didn't have a record contract, and Rubens saw him, and Rubens says, you know what, I can do something with him. And so he went, and he got a hold of Cash's manager, says, I want to record him. He goes, you want to what? I want to record him. So his manager, Cash's manager tells him that, and Cash's response was, well, why would anybody want to record me? Well, he finally relented and let Rubin talk to him. And again, he told Rubin, why would anybody want to record me? And Rubin said, because there's greatness in you, and no one's just bringing it out. So Cash, with his acoustic guitar, went to Rubin's house. Hit one microphone, acoustic guitar, and sat, and all Rubin's sisters sing. Play me whatever you want to play. Sing to me whatever you want to sing. And they recorded hundreds of songs. And as Cash became more comfortable, Rubens began suggesting other songs and bringing in the new songs and began to change around. Because now Cash was comfortable with him, and so he would listen and do this. And so that's what he began doing. And along came the American recording sessions, which are my absolute favorite Cash, by far, music of all time. So let's look at this. It's really heavy. I had to work out. I did some weights beforehand. Yeah, right. So it comes with this book, and a very nice book. And I will just stumble with it. And it's upside down. See, if you were watching, I don't know if Jamie Cottle's shown this box set or not before. I'm not too sure. But you can see there's lots of words, as Sam would say. Yes, they put words in here, but there's some pictures. Isn't that nice? So this is about a 50-page book, I believe, and it has interviews with Rubin and Cash as they talk about the recording process, what went on, and then they discuss each song and what the songs meant to them. So really nice book, very big. Well, not very big, but again, it's cloth bound, and can you see that? This is Cash on there. Very, very cool looking. And then came this. And this, it's 9 LPs. This is some of the best music ever. It's broken up into 5 sections, just like the CD section was. The first is he calls Who's Gonna Cry, and that is just Johnny Cash with his acoustic guitar, and that's it. And Cash was scared to death. He had never been just him and acoustic guitar. There's always been people around him, and he was so nervous to do this, and Rubin just made him feel comfortable, so we can do this. And what's neat is you hear some of this dialogue. You hear them talking, which is just almost creepy. And so they were doing this, and then Rubin wanted to make him more comfortable. He goes, okay, I booked you at the Viper Lounge, Johnny Depp's thing. So, Cash was so nervous. Think about it, been recording for over 50 years, performing for over 50 years, and he's still really nervous because he's going to go do a solo set, just him and an acoustic guitar, something new. But he did it, and he built his confidence up. So, that was the first group of music. Then it's called Trouble in My Mind, and it's kind of the electric part. And during that, it's Cash with different guest people. And you got some drums, you got some piano, maybe a little electric guitar going on. Then there's redemption songs, and those are acoustic duets. And he sings with Joe Strummer. He's passed away. He sings with Glenn Campbell. He's passed away. He sings with Fiona Apple. No, I don't think she's passed away. She's still a little strange, but she's still around. And he does with some different people. Then he does, what's it called? My Mother's Hymn, which actually came out on a separate CD. Cash loved singing gospel hymns. That's how he was raised. And he had promised his mother that's something he would always do. And he always lived to that promise. But people wouldn't let him do it. And Rubens, whatever you want. This is for you. You sing to me what you want. And so it was songs from his mother's hymn. And finally, the 5th one is just 15 tracks from some of the best tracks from the American recordings. So 79 different songs, and it's just it's unadorned inside, but it just looks really old time, doesn't it? 9 albums, 500 pounds of weight. And you know what? I'm out of shelving. I'm just looking, well, what am I going to pack, put away? Actually, I just got to buy some more shelves. That'll make the wife happy. This was so good. Sound on this is incredible. I sat here, I listened to it. The sound was absolutely drop dead amazing. That acoustic set, it was Johnny Cash sitting with me, and just him talking. I mean, it was almost heart-wrenching. It was so beautiful to hear. Really nice. This is just beautiful. Absolutely couldn't ask for anything more. And to hear them talking, hear Johnny Cash talking, discussing the songs with Rick Rubin, beautiful stuff. Next, the Velvet Underground Matrix. Velvet Underground, one of my all-time favorite groups. Regretfully, one of the groups that I don't have any of their 4 albums in original. That's probably Beyond a Grail, which I guess if I wanted to, I could just say, I'm going to make sure I buy those and get them, and I just haven't. Some I think, I'm going to just find them in the wild. Probably not happening. This was the Matrix tapes. This was done in 1969. There's 8 LPs on here with 43 different tracks. It was recorded in San Francisco. They were doing a West Coast tour in '69, and from November to December, they had 4 nights at the Matrix. 4 of the shows, which is basically 2 nights, were recorded on a 4-track recording machine. And so this was taped before the 3rd album came out, Velvet Underground, VU, and obviously before Loaded. Fascinating to hear early versions of Sweet Chain being worked out in here, rock and roll, they're working that out, so they have these songs that would later pop onto Loaded. On here, John Cale is now gone, and so Doug Yule's taken over, and he plays. Some of this music came out in 1974, and they released when they had this album here, Velvet Underground, 1969. This was so they released some of that music then. Then in the aughts, I believe they released the Quinn tapes. I think it was 2001, and that also had some of the music. There is a book. It's just a paper, It just kind of bugs me sometimes when things aren't that cheap and you just get a little bit of stuff. But there's some words. There's words on there for those that like that, which I do. And then, of course, the albums. And this is an 8 LP set. Now, look at this. This is the problem. See that? The glue is so bad on here. A lot of these are just absolutely, look at, I was super disappointed with the packaging. It's all splitting. I mean, it was like this glue just dried out all over, and it was really disappointing. The way their packaging is. Now the music itself, incredible. These guys, the Velvet Underground sounds tight. They sound like they're having a good time and really enjoying themselves. They go through, they have their hits, but a lot of it is from their upcoming album VU, and it's just they do Sister Ray, 40 minutes. There's one full album of Sister Ray. An interesting story with this is, as they were touring around, one of the groups they were touring with was the Grateful Dead. Can you imagine the Grateful Dead and the Velvet Underground? East meets West. 2 totally different bands, but they were touring around. One night the Dead would open and Velvet Underground would close, and the next night they would switch it around. Well, on an opening night where the Grateful Dead was doing the opening, they went long. They got into one of their jams and they just kept going and going, and they went way over their allotted time, and Reed was furious. So the next night, Velvet Underground opened. They went to Sister Ray, 40 minutes of Sister Ray. Now, the Dead's is a jam band, right? They get into things, they get into grooves. Velvet Underground is not a jam band. They just get in and they just start distorting the hell out of the guitars. It's just noise and feedback and going. I mean, it is cool. So they have a version of their super long Sister Ray on here. It's not the one that was done to piss off the Dead, though. It is, you bastards, we're going to show you what we can do. And so... You hear some banter in here. The first concerts, there's just almost no one here. You hear it sounds like 5 people clapping. But as they were out there, they began to build an audience and they began to come to the Matrix. Again, this was in San Francisco. It sounds really good. Mo Tucker's drumming. I swear to God, she had a snare drum, and that's it. It's just choom, 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 choom. She just keeps the beat going. You don't hear nothing else, man. It's just her snare drum just pounding the heck out of it. Doug Ewell, he's just learning the stuff. Sounds great. Sterling Morrison on there, and of course Lou Reed. Really fun document. It's for those that are big Velvet Underground fans. If that's not your deal, last thing you want to do is start with that box set. Glass of a little coffee. Next set. Gotan Project. And this is called Gotan Object. The World of the Gotan Project in a box. Okay, so we got a CD here. This paper comes off. Nice little box, right? Let's open this up. Now, this isn't the easiest thing. See how that? Beautiful, isn't it? We have up here, if I get it out, carefully. This, the box is not, it's not the easiest. Shall we say, the packaging is a little bit difficult, but it's okay. So what we have here, it's a puzzle. Yes, look at that. You have a big pieces of puzzle. You know, you got to appreciate a box set that feels that we deserve a puzzle. It took me a while. It said there's a puzzle, and I'm going, where the hell's that puzzle at? Well, there it is. It comes with a 2 CD set. It's a 2 CD set and 1 DVD. It's of a live performance of the Gotan Project. Now, they are an Electro Nuevo Tango, Electric New Tango outfit. In the aughts, I mean, they're still going, I think. During the aughts, they really were popular. And they had some really, you still hear their music. It's all over the place in the movies. So we have this. Then it comes in. We're going to pull this off. Here's a 7-inch 45. See, this album. This has never been, it was music that's never been released. We pull off the next section. We'll put the 45 back on there. Excuse me. I'm trying to do this. Boy, I'm just going to have a mess when I'm all done. And then there is a very nice sized book that is filled with pictures. So for those of you that like words, you're just not going to get as many. It's just a lot of pictures. It's 150 pages of pictures of the Gotan Project in concert, doing things, reading a book. This is just, it's a group I really, really love. It's very electronic, but tango music is a music of passion, and they know how to do it. You know, with electronics, it can be cold. It doesn't sound cold. It's warm. It's lively. It's a lot of fun. So that was a great little box set. But wait, there's more. Brought in this. This is Jethro Tull's Too Old to Rock and Roll. This was from their 9th studio album that came out in 1975. And it was their last concept album. And the concept was about an aging rocker who's making music, but no one wants to listen to it. And so it's about, well, we can kind of change it up. But its philosophy was, you know what, if you just hang around long enough, your music that now everyone says is old-fashioned will eventually come back into play. And the name of the rocker was Ray Lomas, I believe. Basically, it was Ian Anderson. It was about him and about his views, because in '75, punk was coming. Jethro Tull was considered a dinosaur. The guys were probably in their upper 20s. They were considered dinosaurs by the punk crowd because it was prog and the people just weren't interested in it. So this is a 3 CD set with DVD also. And it's just a lot about the album. Talking about it. What we went on. Look at all that. This is like a real big book, isn't it? Holy cow, there's even motorcycles. The group DVD in here. And actually it's a 2 DVD set. 2 CD, 2 DVD, it looks like. Associated recordings. Nope. 3 DVDs unreleased. These Jethro Tull's been releasing all their early albums like this. I have almost all of them, but I do not have Benefit. Benefit now goes for over $400. Some of these have gone incredible. I have some that have just, you know, they're like worth $200. This is not one that's ever jumped up. It's not my favorite Tull album. In fact, I put this toward the bottom when I of Tull, but I just wanted to get it because I've been getting the rest of these, and Tull's one of my all-time favorite groups. So it's just been fun to buy them, to kind of read about them when I retire, and to listen to kind of what they were doing and their live concerts. I love the song "Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die." I think that's a wonderful song, but overall I felt this album a little bit clunky, and it never jumped at me. But why not buy the box set then? You know, let's bitch about it. I'll just buy the box set. In the background we have this going on, so we bought this, and this is Miles Davis and John Coltrane. This is the Bootleg Series Volume 6 from Davis. Bob Dylan has his bootleg series. Miles Davis has his. Probably Neil Young, I'm sure, has his bootleg series. I've been buying the Miles Davis ones. This is The Last Concerts, and I have actually a smaller album version of this, but this is the 4 CD set with one missing because you're listening to it right now. There is a little book in here that I will never get out. A little bit about the concert. So this came out. This happened in 1960. This was Davis went to Europe to play, and in Europe he went Coltrane. He got Coltrane to come along. Coltrane did not want to go, but Davis convinced him to go. So Coltrane went. Not happy about it. And this is a few of the concerts that they did together. What you hear is John Coltrane doing solos, and you hear him preparing for his own, going out on his own. These solos are massive. He just goes on and on. The audience starts whistling, which in Europe is booing. I mean, because he goes so long. But then when he's done, they burst out in applause and whistling. But Coltrane played so many notes, so fast, so quick. It's fascinating to listen to. It's kind of playful, but it's really is crazy. But really neat box set, Volume 6. I also picked up, here we have Bootleg Series Volume 5. This is recordings, everything that they did from like 66 to 68, and basically it's all the outtakes from Miles Smiles, but also there's Water Babies and Nefertiti. And this is more for completists. This is called Jazz Dance, because there's like there's like 23 minutes or so of just discussion. Listen to Miles, and they're kind of cussing and swearing, you know, them motherfuckers, them cocksuckers. You never know. Is sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad with him, but you hear him talking with his producer Tio, with the band members. They're deciding on how to make the music. It's a cool historical document. If you want to hear how people how Miles Davis thought and how they made music, this is incredible. If you're just getting into jazz, this is a little much. I wouldn't buy it. But for me, it was just fun to listen to understand what they're doing. And I'm sure it comes with a little book too, and it does. And there you go. And I'm going really long right now. And I then bought Miles Davis at Newport. And after I got this is all the live performances at the Newport Jazz Festival. And after I bought this, I noticed that I owned it already. So I now have a second copy. All right, yay for me. So really cool stuff. So there we go. Box set heaven. All over the place, but really, really great stuff. That Johnny Cash and Velvet Underground were just like the best. I really, really enjoyed them. So, hey, thanks for sticking with me for another episode, for popping in this Sunday morning. Really appreciate it. Enjoy your week. I'll be back Wednesday, Thursday, whatever, for my next Left of the Dial. I'll be talking about some of these groups behind me. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Have a great week. Bye.